Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. Well, it is officially Saturday, and I am way behind on this week's surprise vlog just because of everything that's been going on. As it is, my Monday vlog ended up getting postponed by a few days because of the fact that I had the norovirus back on Monday, so yeah, needless to say, it's been an interesting week. And I've been trying really hard to get to status. Wow, I cannot talk. But the good news is I need less than 10 orders to get there because, or deliveries really, because of the fact that once I get to platinum status, supposedly I have the ability to dash whenever I want, and I also have priority access to Dash Now, which means that basically, from my understanding, especially like on a Friday or Saturday, especially in Grant County, Platinum Dashers are going to get the majority of the delivered orders or offers or whatever that you want to call it. And then whatever Platinum doesn't want gets passed down to Gold and then Silver and then so on and so forth from there. So yeah, it's been very interesting, but I'm getting through. Some days I do really well in Grant County. It just depends. And then if I'm really desperate for offers, and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, I just go out to Boone County to Northern Kentucky, where I know I'm going to get offers because they're that desperate for dashers. So that's one of the nice things about dashing at Northern Kentucky because they need dashers and they don't have enough of them versus out here in Grant County, there's too many and there's not enough restaurants and not enough people to go around. So I kind of luck out. And when I'm working, it's very hard for me to just go out to Boone County and go do dashing because I gotta go back to Dry Ridge anyway to go change in my work clothes and then go off to work. Sure, I could just go in my work clothes, but in the event that I get called in earlier or I go home and I need to pack my lunch, I might as well just stay here and why drive all the way out there just to have to race back out here, you know what I mean? So anyway, the main thing I actually wanted to talk to you guys tonight about, or this morning really, um, it's tonight because it's after midnight when I'm recording this, but I'm gonna have this upload at 8 o'clock in the morning if I can help it. And I just found it hilarious. A week ago, I was doing a DoorDash um, for or it was Earn by Time, and it was in Northern Kentucky. I was with my fiance at the time. I was off last Saturday. I'm off again this Saturday, but not next Saturday. And I decided to go do one more. I was like, okay, I'll do one more, and that's it. And I was sent over to trying to Rapid Fire Pizza, and I was like, okay, so I got over there. It was a single caramel apple pie pizza. That's all it was. I asked Katie to go ahead and hold on to it until we got to the house. The person lived next to, or near-ish, my church and Katie's church for that matter. And I got up there, and the app verified I was at the correct address. And I walked up. It didn't appear nobody was home, but that could, be wrong. For all I know, the person could be home. And I checked the address and verified it with the app. The app said I was at the right place. I followed the instructions. I left it at the door. I left it at the front door. I put it on the mat and made sure it was close-ish, but not too far away. I sent a picture, and I walked off. walked back to the car, got in it, and drove off. Now, I admit, for a while now, I've been getting into a very bad habit of not messaging the customer, and that's my fault. So, I did not expect to be called 10 minutes later asking why I never made that delivery. And I was like, what? I was like, you're kidding me, right? So they're trying to get me to go back to the same house and deliver it to the correct house, making it sound like I never delivered the delivery to the correct place in the first place. So I started, asking them, well, first of all, you need to send me the correct address. So, like, what's stopping them from messaging me the correct address or resending me the offer? I mean, yes, it's all a computer system, but, what's stopping them? They have the ability to manually reimburse me money. They should have the ability to manually send me another offer with the same exact address, and I can just go and redeliver it. They can pay for it, and I'll just go back to the same restaurant. I'll go pick up the caramel apple pizza. They send me the correct address. I go deliver it. But there's no sense of me going back to the same house because I'm literally going to drive all the way back, grab the pizza, message the customer, which I should or should not have the ability to. Sure, I could have messaged the customer and go, "What you talking about, fool? You didn't get the order?" It's like, I could have done something like that, and then I could have put it back down and sent another picture. I could have even sent I could have driven all the way back out there and even got on the message app and sent the customer a picture of the pizza and gone, "What are you talking about? You don't have it." And I swear, if I drove all the way back there and the pizza wasn't there, either A, somebody stole it, or B, he came out there, grabbed it, and pretended he didn't get it. Because I had only been gone for 10 minutes. At this point, I had to go really bad. So I was like, I don't really want to drive all the way back out there. I've been spending a lot of money on gas, and they're expecting me to do this all for free. And I'm like, no. I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. My fiance is starving. I've already been keeping her waiting. I'm not going to keep her waiting any longer. And they're like, well, since you refused to do, what we demanded, you're going to get a contract violation for a punishment, you bad boy. And they refuse to take it off because they feel like, they should be able to just go, David, you do this right now. And I'm supposed to go, sir, yes, sir. And that's how it should be. For them, anyway. And that's not how it should be. You see the point. You see what I'm getting at. For DoorDash support, they snap their finger. They get a drill sergeant, or they get a army recruiter response. Sir, yes, sir. And they go, get your, butt over to that house right now. Sir, yes, sir. I am on it right now. Versus, they mistake us for human beings. It's like they treat Dashers like robots. That's the best way to put it. DoorDash support treats their friggin' Dashers like robots. If they really wanted robots, they would create Dasher robots to just, drive to be dropped off at various points. Let's just think about this. Let's think about DoorDash's future. Could you imagine DoorDash having like autonomous cars that will pull up into a restaurant? A robot goes in, picks up the order, takes the picture of the receipt, the order, whatever it needs to do, gets back in the car, the autonomous car, drives the robot to the house, and the robot just takes a picture of wherever they need to deliver it to, even if the person is insisting that the robot hand them the order. The robot goes, I'm sorry, that does not compute with my programming. Your instructions were to to leave it at door. I am required to take a picture. I could just see that. And people would stop using DoorDash because, I mean, they would truly see DoorDash for what it really is. Because they would start understanding, like, wow, DoorDash is just like, whew, at this point. And I'm like, yeah, I already see that. But that's what happens when you work for them. You see these sort of things. But I'm, trying really hard to get rid of this. But they're claiming that the reason for my contract violation is because the delivery never arrived. And I'm like, whatever. Hey, at least it's just a single contract violation. This one is not my fault. Now, the first one was clearly my fault. And I 100% agree. I did try to dispute it, just trying to go, I'm so sorry. It was like super busy. It was a Saturday. It was during the holidays. I didn't mean to. That kind of thing. But, I can see how well that went. But that one was clearly my fault. And you know what? I still have that 1 star rating. And I don't blame that customer for giving me a 1 star rating. I really don't. Because, I messed up that time. And that was, 100% my fault. I should never have been over 30 minutes late. And I'll tell you guys right now, DoorDash, when they say dash, they mean it. Like, when they send you a offer, they expect your butt to head out that door right that second, get in your car, and drive to that restaurant. No excuses. You just drop everything and you get out that door and you get right into that car. If you accept it, you have to go. That's all there is to it. If you don't accept it, no problem. Then you can take your sweet little time. But if you're gonna accept it, go, 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 go. That kind of thing. I mean, sometimes you can unassign orders, but you gotta watch your completion rate because unless there's a valid reason, your completion rate's gonna drop, and it's gonna drop. And once it hits 90% or lower, they're gonna shut you down because they want dashers that are going to accept offers, that are going to see them through and move on to the next one. That's all they care about. I mean, I might have told this story before, but I'm just going to tell it again. And this is a perfect example of just how cold hearted they are, just how much they only care about the money. I had this one incident at McDonald's in Dry Ridge one time where a customer might have ordered McDonald's from another McDonald's, or ordered DoorDash from another McDonald's, but according to DoorDash, it was for that particular McDonald's. And DoorDash was like, well, go ahead and repurchase it, but tell them it's already paid for. McDonald's does not work like that. They need an actual physical purchase. Now, I'm very absent-minded, and I had misplaced my red card. I had it the whole time. I just couldn't remember where I put it. And that's why I've now put everything where I know I can find it. So I'm going, oh no, I gotta find it, I gotta find it. So, more or less, if I could not pay for it, they weren't gonna sell it to me. That's all there was to it. And I mean, there's a chance I could have given them the red card and it could have declined anyway. Because I don't know how DoorDash said it was paid for. They said it was. I mean, there was a 50-50 chance that the money could have gone on the red card, but there's a 50-50 chance it wasn't. But I was willing to take that chance. So, they basically said, well, you can't, if you're not able to pay for it, then you need to leave. That's pretty much all I got out of it. So, I had to tell DoorDash, I'm sorry, McDonald's refuses to sell me this offer. At that point, they told me I could unassign the order, without any consequences, which was kind of nice. Excuse me. That was the first time I ever, or that was one of the few times I should say that was I was able to get out of delivering something without, or assigning an order without getting the completion rate dropped. But to make matters worse, I'm feeling bad for this customer, so I called up DoorDash support. I'm like, I'm so sad, I'm feeling really bad for this customer. And they basically told me to shut up and go back to doing DoorDash, and they handled everything. And they already reimbursed the customer for the money, or their money, and to stop belly aching and to have a nice night, and they hung up on me. And that's more, without using those exact words, that's basically what they did and said. And I was like, okay. So, yeah, that was an interesting experience, but you know what? It's here or there, and it's done. So life moves on. What else can I say? But yeah, I have definitely had some very interesting experiences with DoorDash. And I'll tell you guys right now, when God blesses me with the ability to go back to Publix, I'm definitely cutting back on DoorDash. I've watched enough YouTube videos and read enough comments from other DoorDashers. I've met enough DoorDashers out there to basically tell me it's fun while it lasts, but I could never make a career out of this. I've been doing it for 4 months, and I'm just kind of over it. I'm willing to keep doing it, but I'm never gonna do it as much as I'm doing it right now. Maybe half an hour to an hour a day, maybe. But I'm also not gonna kill myself if I can't do it. I might do it a little bit more on my days off if I'm feeling up to it. Once I get married, I don't know how often I'm gonna do it. I might delete my account once I get married. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna, enjoy it while it lasts. It's not bad to do right now because let me tell you something about Sam. Sam is a very nice guy, but he's very introverted. He keeps to himself, and as long as I'm bringing money in, that's all he seems to be um, interested in. Once in a while, he doesn't mind doing something with me, like watching a movie or whatnot. But I would say most of the time, he wants to do his own thing, and he wants me to do my own thing. And he would prefer that I stick to door dashing because he knows that it's income I need to bring in. And it's pretty sad that he doesn't really seem to care that I'm putting wear and tear on my car, or Katie's car for that matter. But as long as I'm able to pay my bills on time, that's all he seems to care about. I don't think he would, you know, want me to do DoorDash as much if I actually had a decent job where I was able to pay all my rent and utilities and everything else in between on time. Then he probably wouldn't care as much if I just came home and just hung out my room. But, truthfully, guys, there's not much to do in my room other than League of Legends, watching Disney Plus, Netflix, and whatever I got on Steam. And, that's all well and good, but I enjoy going on doing DoorDash because it gets me out of the apartment, it gives me something to do, and I admit once I start this other job, who's to say I have to go out and do DoorDash just to keep myself out of the apartment? I could spend that free time with Katie if, the time does allow. I mean, I don't know how much longer I can spend all this free time with her because soon she's going to be working her very first full time job, and it's going to take a lot out of her, especially her first month. And I almost expect her to come home, make something for dinner, and go right to bed because even photo effects takes a lot out of her. And she seems to think she can do both. And I'm like, okay, well, good luck with that. That's all I got for you. I'm usually pretty good about working full time hours every single week consistently as long as I get to sleep in. When I worked at the airport, they wanted me in between like 5 and 8, and whew, those days were rough. Even those days when I have to be in at 8 o'clock in the morning at the hotel, which really is not that bad. But for somebody who hasn't worked at the airport since August, that's pretty hard. And out here in Dry Ridge, it's dark at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just trying to get used to the idea of waking up and it being like pitch black out. I'm just like, oh my word, and I'm leaving for work and it's still dark out, and I'm just like, oh, that kind of thing, and I'll get to work right when the sun is starting to rise, and I'm just kind of like this. I need my coffee. I got my coffee in my hand, and I'll get the pan of the dustpan. I'm like, when I'm in the laundry room, and everybody's like, "Good morning," and I'm just like, I've always been like that. It's like, do I have to answer, and that kind of thing. I'm definitely more of a night owl, but I don't like the idea of working the night shift at the hotel either. It's like I'm a night owl, but at the same time, I still like to sleep at night too. So it's like I like staying up late, but not too late. Like 1 o'clock in the morning, I like being in bed and I like going to sleep. And I like sleeping until at least 10. I don't usually sleep any later. Now, the day I had the norovirus, I slept until noon, but I also was under the impression I was going to be working at the hotel that day or that night. So I was like, I don't feel good, but I'm going to force myself to stay in bed until said midnight until noon and just see what happens. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough, but I'll just tell you guys right now, DoorDash at the end of the day is great until you get the stupid contract violation from that one person that decides that they want to lie about getting their not getting their delivery when they clearly did, especially when there's a photo involved. It's like, come on, DoorDash, check the photos. You have access. I even told them that. And they still refuse, and they still will take the customer's word for it, even if the customer doesn't give photo proof, and I do. I almost wish I had a picture so I could have sent it to them. I even provided the address of the house, and they refused to take a look at it, even though it says dispute and review. It's like, no, you're just letting it sit there, is what you're doing. You're just trying to make me feel better by making me think that you're reviewing it when you're really not. You're just letting it sit there until it finally goes away. So, yeah, I cannot stand DoorDash when it comes to disputes, especially when it's against me. But until then, always remember you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night, or more, or day, and peace out.